So, after more than 2 years of suggestions and wishes concerning a customizable or in this case tweakable difficult slider, Undead Labs decided to implement one into the game. And by the way, hi, Vino here to yet another State of Decay 2 video, as always. I'm glad I went to bed early yesterday and missed the stream because you need to know if it's 3 PM in Pacific Daylight Time. It's midnight here and I honestly really can't waste my precious sleep time, and with those hour-long streams, especially since the updates in the past months were minor and nothing that keeps me for the long run, to be honest. So you can obviously tell I'm not convinced for the upcoming fall update and the customizable difficulty, even though I made a video about this topic and the 5th difficulty a couple of months ago. So don't get me wrong, I totally like this idea, especially a 5th and harder difficulty above Nightmare Zone, but the difficulty slider itself is a bad idea in this late stage of the game. It would have been better in the first year of the game launch or with the Juggernaut edition released at the latest, but not this fall when the game is more than 28 months old and more players getting bored with this game, like me. Better idea would have been to invent a new freak zombie type, more but less monotonous missions and story goals and a bigger map, even if it's just a Trumbull Valley from the first game, or as most of you know it since most probably never played the first game, the Heartland map, but uncut and with the abandoned area in the northwest, you know, the military point, the little town in the northwest, which had the best loot. My main problem with the difficulty slider itself is that it just feels wrong. It's like I'm launching a PlayStation 1 game, even though it's naturally possible and works and things like that, on a PlayStation 2, playing it on a huge ass 80-inch LED Ultra HD 4K whatever screen with a HDMI cable and a GameCube controller. It's just messed up and wrong in way too many ways. And let me tell you why. The main basic difficulty settings are the way to go, and not being someone who claims to have finished the game on Nightmare but left the community and map difficulty at Green or Standard Zone. Whenever a situation gets too crazy and someone can't handle it anymore, he just gets to the difficulty screen and switches the action difficulty, but on the other hand, it may be interesting for people who slowly want to get used to higher difficulties and tweak the options step by step, and maybe for players who don't want to get into too many risks and lose a valuable character and then just go to the difficulty options menu and yeah, things like that. But now to the more interesting stuff that was announced in the stream: a new 5th game mode, higher than Nightmare Zone, which was signposted with 3 interrogation marks and could be an Apocalypse Zone, or how I called it a couple of months ago, Blood Zone or Doom Zone, but I don't like to speculate about the name. I'm just glad we get a bigger challenge without having to mod the game or do custom challenges like I've been doing recently. Last but not least, the game will overall become more challenging in the near future, especially Nightmare Zone. Standing in in-game days will now effectively influence the amount of zombies and freak spawns. Brian Giami, the most interesting team member of Undead Labs and the brain of the game development if you ask me, showed us his graphs, and that hordes won't be limited by 15 max enemies, but were doubled. I mean, at least for the longer run, so the amount of standing points needed in order to peak the difficulty was also doubled, so that way the difficulty and amount of zombies and challenges that approach will progress slower but steadier. So previously the difficulty was ramped up and possible to be maxed out within 4 to 6 in-game days, since the maximum community standing was possible to peak at 4000, which is now set to 8000. I mean, at least the, how should I describe it, the maximum or potentially maximum challenges were reached at around 4000 standing points. I mean, the game had its own calculator. It's not visible numbers for us as players, but it was round about 4 to 6 in-game days. That's what Joffrey and Brian Giami told us in the stream. So yeah, now it's set at 8000 instead of 4000, which results in, yeah, like I said, a steady but yet bigger challenge over time. And then we'll have another patch in the update that will be exciting for most of us. At least Joffrey said so, and it'll be announced very soon with Eric Anderson. For months I'm eager now to know more about Eric Anderson and the work he's been providing to the game, and especially to learn more about his work and position within Undead Labs. Since we never saw him in a stream, and he's by the way the husband or a close relative, or maybe the brother, I don't know, about the woman from Undead Labs that many fans, the younger, are simping over, and I mean Aaron Anderson, the most terrible driver and player probably too that I ever saw in State of Decay 2.
In the green zone and didn't have access to the boons you wanted, but you still started the game without the boons. That game is still going to have what to a game you've already started. But if you started a new game at this point, it really should work. Aaron's doing a great job, by the way.
Jesus Christ, a 96-year-old who has Parkinson and epileptic seizures at the same time would drive better, blindfolded in reverse. Like, Jesus, there's no control. I don't want to be a sexist or anything like that, because otherwise I get more dislikes, but hey, on the other hand, I don't care about dislikes, so keep on doing. Don't want to rant about anything, so if you got the wrong idea or the illusion of me that I was hating at the beginning about the adjustable difficulty or slider, it's just that, my opinion, it's wasted budget, it's wasted time, and would have been neat to have at the latest with the Juggernaut edition release, and not now on fall, but hey, it'll be the big fall update that was announced, and I predicted pretty much right. So yeah, thanks for viewing, have a great day, goodbye. Leave me your opinions as always down in the comments, bye.